right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Minor Obsession. I'm Scott Lieberman, joined with Sean Newton as always. And we've got a really exciting show for you today, but we've got some more exciting news for upcoming interviews. Sean, tell the people what we got.
So Scott and I had a really exciting chance to sit down with some of Coach Healy's staff and himself. And in honor of the spring game coming up right around the corner, over the next few weeks, we're going to have a series of interviews with football coaching interviews. So leading it off, starting next week, we'll have Coach Alex Atkins, who's the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. And we will also follow that up with Coach Marcus West, who's the assistant head coach, co-defensive coordinator, and defensive line coach. Mouthful there. And finally, we'll finish it off with Coach Will Healy and hear what he has to say about his time before Charlotte and what he hopes to bring to the campus.
Well, speaking of Will Healy, we actually had him give us a little bumper, a little heads up, a little preview of these great coaches. And we're going to start with Alex Atkins because we're going to have Alex Atkins interview next week. So let's hear from Coach Healy and what he thinks about Alex Atkins.
Roll the tape.
All right, Coach. We're talking to Alex Atkins. Can you tell us a little bit about him and why Niner Nation should be excited about him joining the staff?
Yeah, Alex and I had a chance to work with one another at Chattanooga. I was infatuated with his ability to coach the offensive line. Was my first instinct about him. I've watched his success. I've watched him grow. He left there, went to Georgia Southern. Left there, went to Marshall. Then he went to Georgia Southern. Now, this past year, he was the interim offensive coordinator at Tulane. So I think it started with his offensive line knowledge. For me, it was a really good compliment because I'm much more of a perimeter guy. So we believe in the same offense. We believe in what we want the overall product to look like. Now, it was my compliment to, I needed help with what happened up front. I think he's a brilliant offensive football coach. He does a tremendous job of evaluating recruits and prospects and then developing prospects. He's coached at the junior college level. He's coached at the FBS level, at the FCS level. So he's developed, he's recruited. And again, for me, it was a great fit for what mentality and scheme I wanted offensively. So it was a big get. I've been trying to hire him for a long time, and to be able to snag him from Tulane and bring him here, I feel really good about the hands that our offense is in.
So with Alex at the helm, how many points do you expect us to score per game?
He better score a lot. Isn't that his job? No, I mean, I think that for me, being an offensive guy in the past, it's all about our offense doing things that help complement our defense. And we're not going to score 65 times or score 65 points and try to run 160 snaps in a game, things that I don't think necessarily have been the formula to win to help your defense. So our offense and defense will complement each other very well. We're going to control the clock, be more physical than you are, not turn the football over. And try to create efficiency and yardage, not necessarily number of attempts. And Alex agrees with me on that, and that's why he's in that position.
Wow, really powerful stuff from Coach Healy. And I'll say, as we get into those interviews, I thought that all three coaches were amazing and really had some chemistry, even though they weren't in the room together. How'd you feel about that, Scott?
I'm really excited. I was really excited about getting, the new staff in town, but now actually talking to them and understanding their story and kind of their background and how they've been connected for years and years and years is really fascinating. And just hearing their opinion on each other is really fun. And we definitely got a good flavor of that throughout all three interviews. So I think everyone's in for a treat.
Yep, agreed. It's really exciting stuff coming down the way. So be sure to keep your eyes out for the new episodes as they release in the coming weeks. Let's dive into what we're talking about today. So basketball. Let's start there. Men's basketball, in fact. Did some math over the weekend with Rice winning on Sunday. That eliminates us from Conference USA tournament play. They only take the top 12 teams. We're in 13th right now. So our hopes and dreams of making it to the tournament and being ready to peak at that point have kind of dwindled and died.
Sure. And, that's glass half empty. I'm going to try to glass half full this. We got a nice win the other day.
Against UTEP.
Against UTEP. So
now the bottom of the league.
Now the bottom of the league. So now we're up to 7 wins, which matches our total from last year. So we're somewhat peaking at the right time. And we've got 2 games left against Rice, who unfortunately we can't catch up to, but we can beat them.
We can beat them.
And we can finish with a solid 9-20 for the year.
Yeah, that's right. Rice at home and Rice at away are our final 2 games. Wednesday night is the home game, so be sure and come out. And I know senior night was Sunday, but wave goodbye to John Davis and Haslam and let them know you appreciate the time they spent with us.
Absolutely, and that'll be a fun game. Definitely come out and support the Niners. And I still think this season was good for what we had. We heard Diego last week kind of break it down really well too, that we're playing really hard. We only have a couple of scholarships, a lot of young players. And I think next year with a full recruiting cycle for Coach Sanchez, a lot of returning players that got a lot of PT this year, and then some transfers as well. I think again, we're looking up, and I feel like next year can really be fun for us.
Well, we've set the floor, right? Like building on this is where we go from. So next year, I think the goal's got to be double-digit wins for sure.
Make the conference tournament.
Make the conference tournament is probably a good starting point. But, you hear Sanchez and Mike Hill make statements like that they knew coming into our situation where we're at right now that it would be kind of a foundation that would have to be built. We're starting from the bottom once again, as sad as that is for some people who know the history of our program. So I think, like you said, some stepping stones might have been laid in place this year, and we'll have to keep an eye throughout the summer as practices start and those types of things and see what the 2019-2020 team looks like.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely have to get Coach Sanchez onto the podcast and get his take and get everyone excited, because I know he'll be able to motivate us and get us ready to run through a wall.
Yeah, maybe when we're done with the football, a good posthumous interview to kind of walk through what the season looked like for him and if he accomplished any of his stretch goals or even non-stretch goals that he set in place for this team. All right, moving on to women's basketball. They do still have a chance for postseason play, Conference USA and maybe beyond that. Who knows?
Yeah, big win against FIU over the weekend. Puts them at 16-11, 8th in the conference. Only 1 game left in the regular season at home on the 7th of March. Try to come out there and support. Want to give a big shout out to Jade Phillips with her best game of the season. She had 32 points and 15 rebounds against FIU on Saturday. It was pretty impressive. And with that, 14 for 24 from the field, 1 for 2 from downtown, and a limited amount of turnovers, only 3 turnovers with all of that play going through her, obviously. So really impressive game from her, and I'm excited. I think she's peaking at the right time and want to see what she can do in the tournament and really make some noise. I think we should, if we could win a game or 2 in the tournament, make the NIT, and if we can win the tournament, maybe make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Something I find really impressive is the style of play that this team has. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to go see them. And if you don't get a chance to go see them, at least look at the highlight packages that they put together. They play exciting basketball, kind of the opposite of what our men's team does in a lot of ways and what our men's team's trying to be. And it's really nice to watch and actually a pretty good brand of basketball that keeps you excited. So if you're itching for some basketball over the next couple weeks, be sure to keep up with the women's team. And moving on, baseball, 6-5 right now, just over 500. Had a fairly average homestand, got some wins, got some losses, those types of things. Came out again over 500, so that's always good when you're at that point. And have 2 home games or 2 away games coming up against Arkansas before having another homestand facing Copen State March 9th and 10th, and then the big game downtown against NC State at BB&T Ballpark on March 12th. So everybody who doesn't have tickets to that, be sure you get tickets. The BB&T games are a lot of fun, good chance to see a big crowd for a college baseball game, and I'm really liking. There's a lot of guys who are putting up. I know we talked about Rafi Vasquez last episode that we broke down baseball. He's still producing. We've got some other individuals who are batting pretty well right now. Josh Haney is leading the league average wise, 364. He's had 33 at bats, got 12 hits, driven 5 runs.
He had 3 hits the other day against Kent State in a big win too.
Yeah, that's right. And Dominique Camarta batting 350 as well with a 1,000 OPS. So pretty impressive there. He's got 7 hits, 1 home run, drove in 3 runs with RBIs there. So team's shaping up. Still early in the season. Still a lot to be seen in terms of record and production there. But really looking forward to get to downtown games.
Yeah, and just wanted to point out one more thing about Josh Haney, a freshman.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a theme for a lot of our teams is we have a lot of freshmen playing getting a lot of PT and really producing. So got to appreciate that. And again, a good future for all the athletic sports.
Yeah, he's got 9 starts so far, so I'd look for that number to continue to grow throughout the year as he makes a name for himself.
Absolutely. One last update I wanted to provide was on the track and field team. We did really well. We kind of missed this in between our Diego interview, but I wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to the Conference USA Indoor Track and Field meet. Our Charlotte men's track and field team broke the conference record in the 4x400 relay with an indoor time of 3:11:01, and we clinched the Conference USA Indoor Track and Field men's championship title.
Wow. I know that medal on medal on medal was raining down on the track and field team for the indoor season. Now we're moving into outdoor season. So I've been following a lot of the people on Twitter. If you haven't looked, be sure you find some track and field people to follow because the medals that they're bringing home are really impressive. And I know that the athletes seem to feel that if you thought the indoor was impressive, wait till we get outside is what I've heard from some of them. So really looking forward to that season, and hopefully people can get out and watch us compete and win.
Yeah, it's nice to win in some sports, and that's definitely one of them that we're producing at a high level, and got to give them a shout out. So congrats to the men's track and field team for showing up at Conference USA Championship and really doing their thing. Go Niners.
And that's all the content we have today. Again, look for the next interview. Coach Alex Atkins, our offensive coordinator, will be on with us next week. So really excited about that. And leading up to the spring game, if you have questions that you want us to address for football in our in-between weeks when we're not doing interviews, feel free to send them in, minorobsession49@gmail.com, or hit us up at minorobsession on any of the social media accounts. Scott, anything I missed there?
No, I think you got it all. Just remember to wear green
and go Niners.